Happy Thursday! It is Girl Talk Live, and I have a special guest joining us today. Girl Talk Live. So, what this is a safe space to talk about all things health and wellness, a holistic approach to health and wellness. And we're talking mentally, physically, emotionally, even financially. So, join us. Yes, here she is. Hi, everybody. Everybody that's joining. Hello, hello, hello. There she is.
Hello.
Hey,
How are
how are ya?
you? Good. How are you?
I am well. Thank you for joining me today. Happy Thursday.
Thanks for having
How you
me. I'm
feeling?
fit. This I don't love social media, but we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes.
I don't think, does anybody love social media? I don't think anybody loves it. I think we just learn to like rock and roll with it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
It's a very effective tool in business. So we adjust. Well,
I'll learn
welcome.
from you.
What did you say?
I said I'll learn from you.
Yeah, you'll just gotta do it. Just gotta do it. Rip the band-aid. Make it work. All right. So, okay, so I have to tell you guys a funny story. The very first time that I went to Utah, I was on the plane, and it was my first time flying in over 2 years, and it was my first time flying without medication, right? Because I have a terrible fear of flying, and so I always would fly with like Valium or whatever. So this was my first time flying without any meds. I was using oils only and doTERRA supplements, and I surprised myself at how calm I was. But there was this little kid on the plane, and she literally terrorized us the entire trip. She was loud and yelling and screaming, but it was horrible. I was like, girl, the mom was asleep through it all. It was the most bizarre thing. But as soon as like we were coming in and we had some turbulence like in the mountains, right? So when we land, she says the cutest thing. She says, "We've landed safely in Utah." And now every time I say Utah, I say Utah. And that is when I met Savannah, is in Utah. She is joining us all the way from Utah. From what part?
I live in like Salt Lake area,
Yeah.
like 15 area.
Yeah.
So
Salt Lake City, Utah. I met her in one of my doTERRA trips, and we have connected on many levels, right? Multiple levels. And she's here today. Now, Savannah has she's in school, right? What are you in school for?
So I just finished my National College of Exercise professional degree. So it's like a personal training certification. I just got that like a couple days ago. And then I'm also doing ISSA, which is International Sports Science Association. So it's like another like certification for personal training. And then I'm also doing a nutritional certification through Precision Nutrition.
So bang, bam, boom, all the things as it relates to health and wellness and fitness. So what got you, well, let me just say this. She was already in this journey when she met with me. Well, that's not true. Yes, you were already in this journey when we met, but when I introduced her to a few things that doTERRA has to offer, it further changed the game. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, but how did you like, what sparked your interest in all things, fitness and health and wellness and weight loss?
Well, I think with anybody, right? With girls especially, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to gain muscle, you're trying to do your best. So in school, I got made fun of pretty bad because I was overweight. And so that's when I really like had major body issues was in school because people kept making fun of me because I was almost 200 pounds. I was like 190, like yeah, almost 200 pounds in middle school. And so when I got out of school, my mom took me out of schooling. And so I found like a community of CrossFit. I don't know if you guys know what CrossFit is. It's like a high intensity, like strength training class. And so I got into that and I loved it. And then I got into cycling and I loved that. But then the pandemic happened, and so like I stopped doing the cycling thing. And then I just kind of fell out of love with doing CrossFit and cycling. I just didn't love it as much anymore. And then after that, I kind of just decided that there's more to health than just losing weight. Like it's not all about like the number on the scale. Like there's so many aspects of your health that determine if you're healthy or not just the number on the scale. And so that's when I really like started to see a difference in my health, was when I realized that.
Yeah. I think that's like the thing, because I think we all, especially back in the day, because some of the things that were talked about, you know, we thought we had to go really hard on the cardio, and, you know, there was not a holistic view at weight loss. And so I'm so glad to see things kind of shift towards that direction, because you've tried, like me, you've tried all the diets, right?
Yeah.
Let's name them. Let's name all the diets that we tried.
Did you ask which ones I've tried?
Yeah, let's hear them.
Oh, okay. So I've tried keto, I've tried paleo, I've tried no carbs whatsoever, which is so unhealthy because you need carbs for energy, right? You like that's one of your macronutrients that you need to be able to perform well at the gym, or if you're exerting energy, you need to fuel your body with energy. I've tried HCG, which if you don't know what that is, it's horrible. It's only taking in 500 calories a day, and you're injecting yourself with this hormone that's supposed to increase your metabolism to help you lose weight, which not safe at all. I would never recommend that. I don't know why I did that. I know I did it because I just wanted the weight off, and it was not a healthy, sustainable approach. So I've tried so many restrictive, horrible diets that just, you know, you lose the weight and it's awesome, but then you gained it back super quickly within a couple months, or, you know, 5 months, because you've deprived your body for so long that once you finally get those foods that you enjoy, you kind of go crazy with it, right? You're overindulging, you can't stop because you've deprived your body for so long. So with my new schooling, they have a 80-20 approach. So eat whole foods 80% of the time, and then the other 20 enjoy your life, right? You can have wine, you can have some processed foods. It's a very balanced approach, which I appreciate, because before I did any schooling, I was very all or nothing, which I feel like a lot of people are, and it's not sustainable, and it's like you can't get anything accomplished if you have an all or nothing mindset.
Yeah.
So
it's so true. I think that's the key word there, is sustainability, because all of these things can help you lose weight, I guess, depending on where you are in life. And there's a pretty big age difference between you and I. She called me old this morning, by the way.
I didn't know her old. I was saying that she's helping me with social media. Like,
and she was surprised because I was old. Just kidding. But there's a pretty substantial age difference between us, probably close to 20 years. And what I've found as I've gotten older is that it's harder. It's much harder to lose weight. So if you're in your late 20s, early 30s, and this is something that's on your mind, really trying to hone in on this sustainable approach earlier in life is going to be so much more helpful, because I think once you can get into this a mindset that it's really hard to shift out of. But sustainability is the name of the game. Now, I do know that some people have taken, even people that I'm close to, they've taken very drastic steps, even up to surgery, right, to kickstart a healthy lifestyle. And sometimes that's because they're like, it was detrimental to their health. Like they had gotten to a point where if they did not lose, you know, X amount of weight, then they were susceptible to all sorts of diseases. So, you know, listen, everybody, you have to do what you feel you have to do. But I think it's important that you understand that there is another way to do this, right? There is another way to do this. And honestly, it's easier because it's not so drastic, and it's not so You're not depriving yourself of life, right? But you see results slower. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Um, and I think we all want the, like we're all expecting, oh, I want to take a magic pill and I want to lose 50 pounds in a day, and it just does not work that way.
Mhm.
But I would say, like, if you incorporate one healthy habit a week, you'll get there. Like, even if it's just like, oh, I want to walk this week for 5,000 miles, or 5,000 steps, then it's like, boom, then that week you're going to do that. And then next week you can add another one. And it is slower and it takes a lot longer, but it's going to be more sustainable than doing, okay, I'm going to do 50 things on Monday. And then on that Monday, you're overwhelmed and you don't follow through with it.
Yeah,
So
or you do the 50 things on Monday and then you do nothing else for the rest of the week because you overextended it, right? And I think the key too is implementing these small daily healthy habits. Not only will long term, you will see it in your body long term. It's how we were designed, right? But there's an immediate benefit that's happening, and you may not even notice it. It's happening inside. It's happening, we're energizing ourselves or giving ourselves, the sleep that we need. There's all of these fundamentals that by incorporating these healthy habits that are going to come. And you're going to start to feel better, which you're going to have more energy. And these are the things that make it easier to go to the gym and, get the steps in and all of that jazz. So it's all related. Sorry, fall over here. It's all connected, these healthy habits, and it has added benefits. So it's not just about the number on the scale or what you look like in your clothes, because you can be, right? You can be as fit as you want to be and be sick also. You can have cancer and look beautiful on the outside, but literally be dying on the inside, right? So it is about more than just what you look like. The exterior, if you take care of how you feel, how you look will just fall in line, right? It's all connected. It's all connected. Okay, so on your site, you mentioned the word deep health. You take a deep health approach to weight loss. Can you expound?
yeah, so there's like six dimensions of deep health. So there's your physical health, there's emotional health, there's your mental health, relational health, environmental, and all of these dimensions literally influence your eating and your exercise behavior. So it's not like you just look at one aspect of their life and you're like, okay, do this, this, and this. You look at like, okay, how's your stress, right? How's your mental health? How's your fit? Like, are you moving? Like, there's so many aspects of helping someone. And so I really like how Precision Nutrition does the deep health approach, because it's more sustainable, and it works better than the all or nothing approach.
Mindset. Yeah, I heard someone told me this the other day. They said, your body can do just about anything, but the mind, that's what gets us. Our mindset on all of these things will get us. Like, I post a lot of like what I find to be inspirational and motivational stuff on my feed. And sometimes my friends will be like, why are you posting all this stuff? It's because I'm training my mind. I'm training my mind to push through when the scale goes up, right? Or when I haven't met my goal, or when it's a bad day. I'm literally training, like rewiring, reprogramming my brain to be more resilient. And I see the same principles in having a successful business and having successful relationships. It's all like how you are in some of the things or how you are in all of the things, right? I said so many similarities across the board. And what it is small changes made consistently that make the difference long term. It is what it is.
Yep, it sucks. It takes time, and sometimes you definitely do. Like, you get you get frustrated and you're like, dang,
Yeah.
I want my abs, or I just, want to be like
Mhm.
better or have better endurance. But it takes time. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's time for you to gain that weight. It's going to take time for you to take
To
it
drop
off,
it. For sure. And I just try to tell myself too all the time. I don't even actually, let me rephrase. Okay. I don't have to tell myself this much anymore, but I used to have to say to myself, we're going to love the body we're in while we're working to the body we want, right? So there's got to be some self-acceptance and some self love that we give on ourselves and some patience as we go through the process. But every time we show up at the gym, every time we make a healthy decision, or, you know, to do something or to not do something as it relates to our overall health, you know, we're moving the needle. We're making progress. So we just have to like train ourselves mentally to stay focused.
And even if you do derail, let's say you don't eat or you don't make healthy decisions that day, that's fine. Like the next day or dinner time, try to eat a better meal. Like it doesn't have to be like, okay, I'm going to eat crappy this entire week and then Monday I'll eat really well. Right. It's like just next day, focus on whole foods, try to move your body, and those small, tiny little steps, like you were saying, they'll contribute to your overall goal. It'll take time, but overall it's more sustainable, and it's healthier than big change in your body.
Yeah, for sure. I heard someone say once, like, you don't go to the gym and see immediate results. So too, you don't eat crappy one day and see immediate results, right? This is the result of consistent behavior, right? On either end. And so that's why, you just start. You don't set a date in the beginning of the year, right? Nah, we just do it.
Just start.
Just do it. Yeah. One of my other coach friends said 13 days. She says by January 13th, most people have completely forgotten about their New Year's resolutions. Yeah. 13 days?
Yeah.
What the heck? We have to give stuff some time to work.
I know.
Right? And so that's, go ahead.
Oh, and I was just, people just want immediate results, they want it now, but it's just it's not attainable, and it's not sustainable, and you gotta put in the work, but also like it's gonna take time. Like this girl that I follow, it took her a year and a half to get where she wants to, like lean wise, and that's a long time, but
the time is going to pass either way, right? A year and a half is going to pass, and it actually goes quite quickly the older you get, right? So it's going to pass either way. You might as well just go ahead and get started, because before you know it, a year and a half will have been passed, and you could have been so much further. You could have reached your goal in that time had you started today, right? Okay, so let me just tell you guys, we're gonna be diving deeper into this. Savannah and I are gonna be doing a workshop later in the month. We'll provide the dates and the time and the details, and give you kind of the how, some step-by-step things that you can do to get started, some things that you should be cognizant of. And Savannah will be launching her program. I'm not sure when. When are you gonna be launching your program?
That's a question. I'm still in school for my nutrition. So I feel like when I'm done with my nutrition certification, then I'll be like ready to start taking clients and helping them with like healthy habits. But I am gonna be, I think, working at EOS, a gym. I have a interview on Friday. So
cool. Very cool. It's a little bit delayed. I don't know if it's just on my end or not, but okay. So weight loss, deep health approach to it. So what piqued your interest in essential oils?
Well, I think when I met you, I was so drawn to like how like happy you were. You are truly a very happy person, and like I used to be that way. And then like, I mean, I'm happy, but I'm just saying like the pandemic, things get in the way, and like as you get older, you're trying to figure out what to do with your life, and everybody, you feel like they've got it together, and like I just felt like I was seeing that, what am I doing with my life, right? Like I'm almost 30, and I feel like I haven't accomplished anything. But your story really inspired me to get more into oils, just because like you smelled good, for one. Every time I'm with you, you smell so good. I have to ask you what you were. And
bask in the,
like just your story of how you know, you were anxious and you were going through a lot of stuff, and how you did it the natural way. And I think a lot of people just take the pill route, you know, and that has issues in itself too. You know, there's
Mhm.
other effects that you have. It may help, but also it's not going to solve the problem. It's just more side effects. So your story really interests me, and so I was like, and I had some issues myself. Like I wasn't having regular bowel movements. My mood was always kind of a negative mindset, and so that's kind of how I was interested in it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually didn't know that. But what's funny is my little nephew, he is, I think he's 7, and he doesn't, I don't think he really likes me all that much. He likes
Don't
he
think
likes my husband much more, but he's very peculiar. He's a peculiar kid. And so all the kids were together the other day, and they were being so mean to each other. And I was like, they were all sleepy and irritable. So I said, we're gonna stop and we're gonna go around the room, and everybody's gonna say something nice about everybody else in the room, because we just need to refocus. So when he got to me, it was really hard for him to say nice things about the cousins and the sister, right? But when he got to me, he said, she's always happy. And it just, it made my heart like smile, because that is true. That is not how it used to be. That is
yeah.
not how it used to be. And it really was a shift in mindset. I used to be so negative, and I still fight it, right? But just everything, I'm just, I mean, if you knew me back then, I don't even know why you hung out with me. Because it was bad. So it makes me so happy for people to see that change in me, because it's, and you didn't know me before, but that's new. What you're observing is new, and it is because I have focused on taking care of myself. When you don't feel good, you don't show up well, right? Like
Yeah.
you're like, rah, rah, rah. Like, who wants to be around that? And so it really was about taking care of myself. Now, when I introduced you, so we sat down and we talked, and Savannah shared some of the things that she was dealing with. And so what I said to her was, I really think you should start with a kit that we call the Healthy Habits Kit, because it's a 30-day system. These small habits. It's a combination of supplements and a few of our key oils that that we start people out with when they have several different things that they're trying to get to resolve, right? So I said, this is what I'm thinking that you should do. And if I remember correctly, you were just kind of like, I don't really think I want to do that. Like I take digestive enzymes, I take all these things, and I spend a couple $100 a month on all these things. So I don't really think, so if I remember correctly, you did not move forward. But we had a second conversation. Do you remember that? Or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Did I make that up? Okay.
I mean, I was spending close to like $250 a month on like everything. I had like this shake that I'd have to take before every meal, and I had to take a digestive enzyme. I had to take probiotics. I mean, it was crazy. Like the amount of pills and crap that I had to take was just, it wasn't, especially if I'm on vacation, I have to take this big thing of like shake. Like it's just not, it doesn't work for me. It didn't work for me. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think I was just like, okay, like this isn't working. I've been spending this much money. My doctor isn't telling me another solution. She's just like, oh, keep doing it. Keep spending this amount of money. And so that's when I like reached out to you, because I was just like, nothing else is working. So
Let me try this. Something else is
yeah,
working. Because that was my question for you, was like, okay, you're doing all this, but is it working? Are you pooping? Because that to me, when somebody says they're not having regular bowel movements, to me, that's always like red light, like red light, red flag, red flag. Like that's not good. It's not good. And so what made you try it eventually?
I think, yeah, I just got to a point where I was spending so much money that wasn't working. I was like, why not spend it in something that has worked for you and just
Mm-hmm.
see what it does? And you also said that you have 30 days to return it. So if it doesn't work, then I can return it and I get my money back. Like, what do I have to lose? So I think when I ordered it, like, it came, and that day that I took those pills for the lifelong vitality pack, I pooped. that day. I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. And I think I texted you and I was like, oh my gosh, I pooped. Like crazy.
Those are my favorite messages. When I can help people poop, I know I've done my job.
I was angry because I wasn't like having a regular bowel movement, man.
Yeah.
God.
And when we talk about weight loss, if you are not pooping, that is going to affect it. Like it's all connected. It's all connected. And that's really what I hope that you guys can deduce from this, is that there is no sustainable, healthy, quick fix. There's just not. If you want to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be, there's just, that's to lose the actual fat. But if you want to be healthy in the process, because you could be in a calorie deficit on McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't mean, yeah.
You can lose weight, but it doesn't mean that you are healthy. You could be doing so much more damage. And so that's what we really want you guys to take away from this, is to really look at weight loss in a holistic way. And there are a few fundamentals, a few things that you really want to focus on as it relates to weight loss. And that is what we're going to talk about at our workshop later this month. My last question for you, Savannah, Coach Van, is what tips, other than what we talked about, are there any other tips that you would have for those that are on here and they're like ready to drop weight?
Yes, there are a couple. So number one, I would eat without distraction. So, which is really hard, right? Because we're all super busy, but I would recommend eat your meals with no distractions and chew at least 25 chews per bite. So then you can actually, your stomach can actually catch up with, or your mind can actually catch up with your stomach. And then you'll know, okay, like I'm full, and you keep eating and keep indulging. And then check your pantry. Are there things that aren't supporting your goals? So I'm not saying that you can't have things that you don't enjoy, but if there's like Twinkies and there's like, you know, a bunch of stuff that's not supporting your goals, then it's gonna be that much easier to grab it. If you've been through a stressful, like if you've had a stressful day, you're going to go for the Twinkies or the chips or whatever. But if you fill your pantry with things that are going to support your goals, then it's going to be that easier in time that and your taste buds will change too. You'll be like, hey man, I'm like craving whole foods. I'm craving veggies. Like it's crazy. Like the more you eat sugar, the more you crave it. But when you reel it in and the more you eat like whole foods that actually fill your body and nourish your body, like you're fuller longer. It just takes longer to digest. And then also look for like habit patterns. What triggers you? You know, how are you feeling? What time of day? Was it a social setting? What place? Where were you at? So identifying like habit patterns of like when you're going to overeat, or let's say you've had a stressful day and you're like, man, I really deserve this because I had a stressful, like notice those trigger patterns, so that then when a stressful time happens, then you can be like, wait a minute, like, okay, I know what happened, and I know like I'm going to journal for 5 minutes instead of like go and eat, or you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Also, instead of doing that, you can also do find habits that support your goals. So read a book, go for a walk, spend time with your family. And over time, these tiny habits will turn into bigger habits. Like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym, or you know what I mean? Like these little habits that you incorporate always turn into bigger habits. And then also try to sleep well. A lot of people don't prioritize your sleep. Your sleep is so important. At least 8 to 9 hours, at least 7 to 9 hours a night you need for your body to heal. That's when your body heals. Your body's been through so much through the day, and we're all dealing with so much stress. And then I think lastly, be kind to yourself. What you tell yourself it affects everything. It really does. What you say to yourself, how you treat yourself, it affects all of your goals, and if you succeed or not. And I've through experience, the way you talk to yourself is so important. So be kind to yourself. You're doing the best you can, and give yourself a break, because we're all trying to figure this out, this health journey. It's a long journey. So
It's a long journey, and there's no, there really is no destination. It's a lifestyle. These are things that we have to really be doing every day. And I think that's why getting into these, establishing these good patterns is going to be really helpful. Last thing I want to say, just as it relates to being kind to yourself and the way you talk to yourself. I was reading something the other day. It says your brain, when it comes to your belief system, your brain cannot distinguish what's imaginary from what's real.
right.
When it comes to your belief system, right? Certainly it can distinguish in other ways, but as it relates to your belief system, so if you keep saying to yourself, you know, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to be thin. I'm never going to be fit. I'm never going to meet my goals. I'm never going to, guess what? You won't. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You've told your brain that. So now when it's time to do the things, your brain's going to be like, nah, we ain't doing that because we ain't never going to reach our goals, right? But then when you flip it, and you say, I'm gonna reach my goals. It might take some time, but I'm gonna do it. I am a disciplined person. I am consistent. These are things I say to myself, by the way. You know, when we say all these things, then our brain is like, no, yeah, we're fierce. We're gonna do this. So when it comes time to execute, the brain is like, come on, sis, let's do it, because this is who we are, right? So we have to kind of trick our brains into behaving like the person that we want to ultimately be, right? And that extends across every single aspect of our lives, how we are in some of the things or how we are in all of the things. So I hope that you guys found this encouraging and motivating. Go follow Coach Van. She's always encouraging me to get my steps in, friends. And there'll be just so much more to come from her. She's a rising leader. I'm excited to see what happens with her business as she continues to grow. And then we'll be announcing our workshop, our wellness workshop, that'll be really focused on sustainable ways to really lose weight naturally. So stay tuned. We'll be in touch with more. Thank you, Savannah, for joining me.
So fun. You're the cutest. So.
Yeah, as are you, sis. I can't wait to come back to Utah.
Anytime.
All right. Bye. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Bye, guys.